The New York Knicks free agency offer has been leaked as we have a major free agency update that is absolutely shocking regarding one of the Knicks' biggest targets, as now multiple other players come into the fold for the Knicks as they look for that final veterans minimum roster spot, while their best target is also about to make his free agency decision, which will have a ripple effect on the Knicks and the rest of the league as they pursue their final free agents, whether it's the Knicks or the other teams that are interested in the same guys that the Knicks are. There's a lot to go over with this right now, and we are going to break all this down. But guys, before we jump into that, if you're part of that 58% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily New York Knicks updates. We have a lot of great videos coming out every single day that you do not want to miss out on. We're having a lot of fun on this channel, and now that we're in the thick of September, there is going to be a lot more Knicks news as content creation day, training camp, all that stuff is going to get started, and you do not want to miss out. So make sure to subscribe to those post notifications on, and let's talk about the New York Knicks because their free agency offer has been revealed in a huge update. Look, it's been no secret that the New York Knicks have been interested in Ben Simmons for a while now. Simmons gives the Knicks a lot of the things that they need to fill that final hole for their roster. They want another guy who can be a ball handler while also having a guy who can be a big man in some situations, as they do plan on starting Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns from where things appear to be at right now. And that does leave the Knicks with one backup center in Ariel Hukporti and not much big man depth overall. And that is where Ben Simmons comes into play, as he can guard the 1 through the 5. And Simmons does look like a legit target who could help the Knicks a lot with his excellent defense. And also a lot more, except for the fact that he doesn't score the ball or even look at the basket whatsoever. But now we have a huge update regarding Ben Simmons that I don't believe anyone would have seen coming, as it was revealed by Mark Stein. The Knicks, league sources said, indeed offered a 1-year contract to Ben Simmons that the former All-Star passed on. New York is limited to minimum contract offers as training camps draw near, and Simmons entered free agency hopeful of securing a contract above the minimum after he split last season between the Nets and the Clippers. Here's the thing. Ben Simmons split last season between the Nets and the Clippers, but it's not like he had some excellent season. In 22 minutes per game, he put up 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game. He was a good defender, don't get me wrong, but there just clearly is not the same guy in there that there once was. And with all that in mind, it's really pretty surprising to imagine that in this kind of era of where there's a real salary curve between the top paid guys and the guys who are not the top paid guys, and with a lot of players signing smaller contracts than you'd expect, Ben Simmons is in line for a minimum contract if he wants to continue playing in the NBA. This is a guy who got played off the court in the playoffs and couldn't even average 1 point per game. So to see him deny this contract by the Knicks is really a sign of he wants more money than he thinks he's going to get. And at this situation, there's almost no team that can pay him that much more than the minimum offer. So if he's going to a team, it likely won't be a great one. Or if he wants to go back to the Brooklyn Nets, they can give him actual money. But no one else even has cap space in free agency. So it's really difficult because it's whatever teams can still offer some of that mid-level exception to Simmons, and if they're actually going to do that, considering Simmons' affinity to not playing basketball games. Now, on top of that, Mark Stein mentioned that New York is limited to minimum contract offers as training camps draw near, and Simmons entered summer hopeful of securing that contract above the minimum that he's after splitting last season between the Nets and the Clippers. Boston and New York, Stein was told, expressed the most serious interest in Simmons this summer. And now Ben Simmons has opted to not take that deal from the Knicks. And maybe he's waiting for Boston, thinking that they will offer him part of that mid-level exception that I believe they still have. But where things are looking right now, it's just not a great sign for Ben Simmons or for the whole team going forwards, for Ben Simmons' whole team. Not the Knicks. The Knicks it looks fine about. It's like, all right, well, it's Ben Simmons. If it was someone else, it'd be a little bit different. But when it's Ben Simmons, you kind of think, well, it is Ben Simmons. He makes a bunch of weird choices anyway, so that makes sense. But that's the thing that we're seeing with Ben Simmons. He's a guy who's just not that committed right now. And I'm not trying to hate on Ben Simmons because he didn't accept a contract offer with the Knicks. It's fine. I think there would have been great things that Ben Simmons would have added to the Knicks, but also given them serious limitations as well. Like most guys who are signing on a minimum deal, there's going to be good, there's going to be bad. And with Simmons, yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird that he wouldn't want that contract, but maybe he didn't think he'd get enough playing time and that he wants more minutes. But there's a lot of thought that he's not going to be able to find that wherever he's looking for himself. So that's the difficult thing to navigate. I mean, maybe the Denver Nuggets make a lot of sense if any team does, but even them, there's going to be that issue that Ben Simmons has of not shooting the ball. So it comes down to a lot of situations. And Knicks fans did comment on this after it happened, saying, no way, bro thinks he's worth more than a minimum. The fact that teams want to pay this man U.S. currency is baffling. Someone said, we can't just keep blaming his injuries and playing him. he has a door to hoop and just does not want to. Stay home and keep playing Call of Duty then. And someone else saying that he is scared, Mill Media mentioning that he is scared to come back to New York after he was in Brooklyn with the Nets for a bit. So who knows which one it is. I think it's Ben Simmons wants more money to play basketball than a minimum deal because he understands it's not really going to be life-changing money. And if he's not going to get life-changing money at all, he just might as well not play is kind of the thing that it's kind of what I'm seeing with Ben Simmons right now. That's kind of the vibe I get from the guy. And honestly, it's not the most surprising thing to see something like that happen if we're being real. Ben Simmons clearly has he sees what he wants. He wants to make a good amount of money playing basketball, or he's just not going to play basketball. And it seems like he's fine with either way right now, which honestly isn't the most surprising thing because we did see this update from Stefan Bondy that Ben Simmons has generated interest from the Knicks and another team that looks like it was the Celtics, but is also questioning whether he even wants to continue playing in the NBA next season. So maybe Simmons doesn't want to play basketball at all. Maybe he wants to go back to Australia and play in the NBL. He'll have overseas options for sure, and that's genuinely fine. If that's what Ben Simmons, who's a native of Australia, wants to do, if he wants to go back home and play basketball in the NBL, that's completely fine. It's completely understandable. His career clearly has not worked out the way it was supposed to after that great start that he had, and whether it was a back injury or some mental thing or a mix of both, which it probably is, what genuinely feels like it is the case now is that Ben Simmons just does not love where he's at right now, and that's completely fine. He doesn't have to play in the NBA. If he doesn't want to, he can go home, and nobody's going to really blame him. They're going to understand. Some people are going to be like, why doesn't he want to play in the NBA if he can? But it's his life. He can do what he wants. He's made a lot of money. It's a weird choice, but it's not the one that most people would make, but it is what Ben Simmons would make. And I mean, we've seen that Ben Simmons has made enough weird choices to have his agent cut ties with them. So Bernie Lee did cut ties with Ben Simmons and no longer represents him. So now Ben Simmons is agentless, having to navigate this situation, which makes it even harder for him to sign a contract with the team. And we've also seen reports that both Russell Westbrook and Ben Simmons may remain free agents at the start of training camp, as they both are asking for more than a veteran's minimum. Neither one would get it, but Russell Westbrook is way more in line to potentially getting more than that. Ben Simmons, there's just no way he would get anything more than that. And so then you consider, if you're the Knicks, you're like, all right, well, Ben Simmons is out. We're not getting Ben Simmons. Lost cause. He's not happening. Where do we go next? And that's where things get interesting. I mean, the easy answer is Landry Shamet. Shamet's been in New York working as a photographer for the U.S. Open and is currently training and eyeing another season with the Knicks as well. Shamet wants to return to New York and is happy to do so while living his best life in New York. My brother actually saw him walking down the street not that long ago, but that's not the point. It's just a cool story. But Shamet is an easy yes for me. I love Landry Shamet. I love the grit. I love the fire. He fits that New York energy really well, and he had a good season with the Knicks. I mean, he came in and shot terribly to start the year, but still finished with a 40% mark from the arc and also shot 46% from the field and 47% on corner threes. Landry Shamet's a very nice player. He put up 6 points per game with the Knicks and 1 rebound. He played solid defense in the playoffs. He stepped up in a huge way to the point where fans were chanting Landry Shamet's name. So Landry Shamet has proven himself to New York Knicks fans, and Knicks fans would all love to have him back. Now, if the Knicks want a more true point guard, they can look towards a guy like a Malcolm Brogdon, who, despite the injury concerns, is a very talented player and would give them that other lead ball handler that they clearly have some interest in, because he put up 13 points per game last year, 4 rebounds and 4 assists in Washington. He didn't shoot well from 3, but he did shoot well in the corner threes. And honestly, when it comes to Malcolm Brogdon, we all know he's a better shooter than a 28% three-point shooter. He was on the Wizards. They were not a good team. He was obviously much more of a defensive focal point than usual for opposing teams, so it makes some sense. But I do like the idea of Brogdon as well. And also, I mean, the best option for the Knicks, if we're being real, is Malik Beasley. Obviously, he's the best free agent really available right now. And we do also have an update on that, as Malik Beasley recently said on an Instagram post that his decision is near. So Malik Beasley will decide soon as well, and that's going to have an impact on things and what ends up happening. Obviously, the Knicks are one of the teams interested. The Timberwolves have talked to him. Obviously, the Pistons have, and the Golden State Warriors have also shown interest, amidst other teams as well, I would imagine. The Knicks can only offer Malik Beasley a minimum contract, so it feels like they'd be a long shot for Beasley, but it's always possible, and we're going to see what happens with that. I want it to be Malik Beasley. I don't expect it to be Malik Beasley, so I want Landry Shamet. That's the way I view it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below what you want to see this man right here do. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching. Go Knicks.